just broke up. She changed her mind. Hey everyone, welcome back to Lives on Reddit. Don't forget to subscribe to be a for lifer. Edit, thank you everyone for the words of encouragement and well wishes. The support from you means a lot to me right now. Fiance and I just ended things after 7 years. Got home from work late today and took a shower. Get out to hear her crying on bed. Ask what's wrong and she says she now wants to have kids. She was the one when we got together, told me within the first week that she did not want to have any. She was kind of dancing around the breaking up part. I went for a walk and called a friend to just kind of get myself in order. Came back and ripped the band-aid off, so to speak. Feeling pretty bad right about now. Like I said, 7 years, engaged and all that. We were going to marry last year, but COVID kind of screwed that game plan, thankfully. Said she's been thinking about it for the last year or so. Wanted to make sure it was what she wanted and not just a passing feeling. I really do love her and it hurts so bad that it's over. Super fresh and I'm sure that's gonna start to hit me more over the next few days. I do respect that she at least just came into the discussion and didn't either try and convince me to have kids with her or worse, trap me. Sorry for the semi-meandering post. It's 1:30 a.m. after a 12-hour shift and just had this dropped in my lap. My childhood best friend never wanted kids. She got with a guy who had recently divorced because he didn't want kids and his wife did. Friend and dude were together 10 years when she decided that she wanted kids. He still did not and she got mad at him. So he left. She now has a baby. You did the right thing. Ugh, that sucks for him. No wonder there are guys out there who assume any woman who says she doesn't want kids will change her mind. It's been 2 out of 2 for him. His wife may not have claimed to be child-free, but she did want children. I hope he has a vasectomy. I had a male friend who had the same issue with 6 out of 6 of his partners. He got a vasectomy to rule that out completely from his relationships. Echoing what others have written here, I'm so sorry. This sucks in a big way. I've been there, although kind of in the opposite direction. I'm a middle-aged biddy in my 50s now, but when I was in college, I met this guy who I thought was the one. We were together for 5 years, during our last year of college and afterwards, living together for some of it. I'd never felt the same way about anyone else at the time and wanted everything with him. Marriage, a home, and kids. I didn't know myself well enough at the time, didn't realize that being child-free was the far wiser choice for me, and that there had been indications since I was a child that having kids was not for me. But I wasn't doing that kind of self-reflection back then, and everything revolved around him and the future I thought we could create together. However, he wasn't on the same page. Not just about kids, but any of it. He didn't want a lasting relationship with me, didn't see the same future, didn't feel the same way about me as I did about him. He did feel the same way at first, during the first 2 to 3 years of our relationship, but as we both grew and matured, his attraction waned, and he wanted other things. He just couldn't be honest with me about it, didn't know how to end the relationship, so he kept me hanging on. I know it's because he didn't want to hurt me, but it put me in a tough position, and caused me a lot of pain to feel him pulling away, to realize that he was dating other women. I finally had to be honest with myself and realize I wasn't going to get what I wanted from him, so I had to end the relationship. We had an extremely ugly, acrimonious breakup in year 5, and I was absolutely crushed. I felt like all my hopes and dreams had gone up in smoke. I fell into a depression for a while, and it took me several years to fully get over the end of the relationship. It was no dang fun going through that kind of pain and trauma. However, looking back years later, I realized it was the best thing for us to do. Had we gotten married and had kids as I had hoped back then, we would have ended up resenting each other and most likely ended in divorce. I would have been a single mom part of the time, if not a majority of the time, trying to raise kids on my own. And from what I know about myself now, years later, that's not the life I wanted for myself. I would have been a deeply angry, dissatisfied, hateful person if that's the course my life had taken. As painful as it was at the time, ending the relationship with that boyfriend was the best thing for me to do. It sounds like you and your ex realized that too. And as painful as it is, You are making the right choices for yourself. If she's not on the same page, has changed her mind about having kids, it's best she's acknowledging that now and not dragging you into a marriage where she's faking her motivation with you, maybe secretly trying to get pregnant and convince you to want kids. You don't want the pain and resentment that a future together where you don't have the same expectations and wants can bring. It sounds like you are also dealing with it in the healthiest ways you can manage right now, and I applaud you for that. Breakups suck, especially when you are so close in that relationship, had so many hopes and dreams together, or thought you did. Just continue to remind yourself that as painful as it gets while you go through this and process it, you're both making the right choices for yourself. You will come out of it a stronger person. But iron doesn't get forged without a little molten fire. Thank you so much for the kindness, as well as sharing your story. It certainly is for the best that this happened now, rather than post-marriage, or if we had gotten a house together. We both want each other to be happy, but just can't be the source of that happiness. Exactly. You've already figured out what took me years to figure out after breaking up with my college boyfriend. I had so hung my hopes on everything working out the way I wanted it to with him that I literally couldn't conceive that it wouldn't. That sometimes relationships break down and someone can't be that everything you thought they could be. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes that's just how it is. You're already steps ahead of me. You're going to be okay. I know this will probably get buried, but I just want you to know I get it. My ex and I were together for 7 years too. We always kicked that can of kids down the road. We broke up for various other reasons, or at least she did since there'd been tension for various reasons. But it almost certainly would have gone very badly since we felt differently from the start. The whole thing really broke and changed me, and I still miss her sometimes, 3 years later. Hoping it won't take you that long to move on and that you'll be able to put yourself back together. But if you don't for some reason, just know there's at least one other random dude out there who knows the pain. Do whatever the heck you need to do to get through it. It doesn't matter when you're trying to survive. Feel what you need to, but don't dwell on anything or keep going back to it. That's the advice I can give that worked for me. Let the pain do its thing. But know when to tell it enough as well. As Bill from King of Hill said, all you can do is let the train hit you and then try to find your legs. Same thing happened to me. I was 3 years into marriage before he decided he wanted kids and tried to force me to go along. I know it sucked and I'm sorry you are going through this. Be glad you didn't marry. The legal crap to get out was heinous. I feel so bad for you, but you did the right thing. Thank you for the encouragement. I'm glad we were able to go through this without trying to change each other's minds. Some people can get downright nasty when trying to convince or force an unwilling partner into parenthood. I'm so sorry, this is such a tough situation. You might be glad about the way things happened in the future. The 7 years weren't a waste, and the next someone will be an even better match for you. To second that, the heartbreak still hurts like heck, but you both grew as people alongside each other, learning and having good times along the way. You learn a lot about yourself through those experiences, speaking as someone who went through a 5.5-year relationship ending recently. Keep identifying your support system and be patient with yourself while you heal from this. Hugs. Definitely not time wasted. She was feeling bad that she had wasted my time and I explained how I felt, that even though we're done, that it was still a worthwhile endeavor. We both grew so much throughout that time. We moved out of our home state, both changed careers, and honestly believe we are 100% coming out better than going in once the pain subsides. Unfortunately, there's no compromise for not wanting kids. It's not just try and see if you like it kind of thing. Just have one isn't going to make it better. Marriage is made for two people to take on the world they want together. And sometimes you want to take on traveling the world, and sometimes they want to take on owning a business, and sometimes they want to take on toddler taming. There's nothing wrong with any of the options, but there's no compromise for any of them. Be with someone who's going to be on your team 100%. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't leave. Subscribe. Be a for lifer. Ooh.